This is Chuck Schaefer, and I'm joined by Raghu Raghavan, founder and CEO of Act-On Software. Raghu, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Chuck. Happy to be here.
Raghu, let me start our conversation with a little bit of context. In this technology sector, we hear a number of different keywords or names. We hear marketing automation software, lead management systems, email marketing, revenue performance management. Let me ask you, how do you describe the technology sector which Act-On competes?
You know, that's a very interesting question because I think we tend to avoid the jargon because we don't use the terminology to sell. We have always focused on the actual difficulty that the customer was facing. And it's kind of interesting because about a fourth of our customers, 25%, are actually doing marketing automation and don't know it. So our sale tends to be more focused on the pain they're feeling and the objectives they're trying to reach. Now, one thing is pretty common. I think email marketing has been around for a long time. It's proven very successful. And there's a lot of companies that have adopted email marketing and are now looking for something more. And so we don't feel like we have to sell them on the idea of marketing automation or revenue performance management or any of these other things. We just look for them trying to reach their customers in multiple channels, trying to use behavior as an indicator of how to engage with them. And if they're using social media, if they're using webinars, if they're using drip programs, or if they want to actually do automated programs to try to further the engagement, we're the right solution for them. So I think we tend to be very focused on a sector that's not aware of all the jargon that currently persists in this space.
How would you describe the ideal customer profile of the organization that's going to get the most value from your solution?
Right. So I think, we say we are marketing automation for the Fortune 5 million.
Right.
But I don't want that to be, mistaken as being for the smallest companies. In fact, if you look at the range of companies we sell to, it's anywhere from startups, which basically have no revenue, to 250 million in revenue. So that's the size of market we go after. So it's not so much that the company has to be small, but what we look for are marketing teams that are empowered to create their own content and run their own programs. And so that could be, obviously that's a department, that's the complete marketing department of a startup, but it's very often a departmental function in bigger companies. We have lots of great logos. We have IBM as a customer. It's a tiny little contract. It's a tiny little department someplace. We have Progressive Insurance as a customer. Lots of big names, but our engagement is departmental. And so when we see a marketing team that's between 2 and 15 people, 15 is seem like a good size, but it's definitely the sweet spot for us. If it's a team that's empowered to create its own content, come up with its own creative ideas and run its own campaigns, they're perfect for us. If they have to go through a central IT function to get the website enabled and to go through this sort of approval process with users and all of that, that's not ideal for us. And we tend to avoid those kinds of customer engagements.
Interesting. Raghu, is there an overarching business opportunity or possibly a business problem solved with the use of your application?
We do a huge range of things. I should say that many of our customers tend to have a sort of focused solution, a focused pain point they're addressing. But by and large, if you look at what people do, it's the whole business of acquiring leads for their business, nurturing leads for that business, right? Making sure that they're able to close them. And once a sale has taken place, we've actually seen the application of our technology with what happens beyond the end of the funnel, with existing customers and making them successful, making them raving advocates eventually.
Okay.
So it's the complete spectrum where our technology applies.
And are there a set of what I would call common benefits that the majority of your new customers are seeking to achieve with your technology?
Yes, I think so. I think most customers that come in are looking at how do I get more leads? How do I get more prospects? And they're typically looking at two things. They're looking at what can you do to my website so that I can convert the traffic that I'm seeing on the website and turn them into people I can market to. And we have a very nice solution for that. And then they say, well, I went to a trade show, I scanned a bunch of badges like is happening out here. How do I market to them? How do I make them aware of who we are, what we do, etc.? Those tend to be the most common reasons why people turn to us. Now, having turned to us to do that, they quickly discover the benefits of all the other things that we offer. And our pricing is not based on the modules they use, it's based on the number of people they're trying to market to. So we actually incent them to use everything that we have.
Okay.
So we find the engagement with customers broadening after the initial engagement.
With the engagement broadening and the number of new customers picking up, do you think that customers adopting marketing technology are able to use that technology to achieve competitive advantage? Or is this technology becoming so pervasive that it's becoming a cost of doing business, and not having it will deteriorate your business model?
I almost think it's the latter. I think 10 years ago it was seen as a competitive advantage.
Right.
But I think now it's become so pervasive. It is so expected that you do all the things that marketing automation typically encompasses. So I definitely think it is almost become, the cost of doing business. But that said, we've done a number of ROI, studies with our customers, and they see tremendous benefits. But when they came in, they didn't come in to save money or to get more efficient. They just came in because they felt like they had to do it.
Where do you think we are in terms of customers crossing the chasm to mainstream adoption of marketing automation technology?
Great question. Fantastic question. Because this has actually been one of the things that I've been looking at the most. The penetration is still low. I think if you look at the total available market for marketing automation, I think 95% of it is unpenetrated.
Wow.
These are people that are not mom and pops. These are people that are using email marketing and doing other things, but haven't yet, started to achieve the benefits of integrating the marketing and starting to do marketing automation. Now, with about 5% of the market penetrated, now then the question becomes, what is the overarching thing that's going to cause the other 95% to cross over? All I can tell you is what we're seeing in our own customer base, right? We are seeing mainstream companies, not companies that are high-tech companies. Early adoption of marketing automation was by high-tech companies, as you very well know. Eloqua's greater successes came on the backs of high-tech companies that could see the value. But if you look at our customer base, we have companies that are so mainstream, not high-tech. They're in the Midwest someplace. There's a company that sells, hazardous material, disposal equipment, like gloves and drums. If you have a nuclear, dump in your backyard and you want to clean it up, they'll sell you stuff. Not a high-tech company, but doing very sophisticated marketing automation, very sophisticated targeting and profiling and personalization. We have a company that decommissions factories and sells, assembly lines, auctions them out. Not the kind of company you think of as being, a classic sort of a target for marketing automation. But I think to me, these are the signs that the mainstream has started to cross over, because they're not looking to say, do I need this? What do I do with it? They're saying, we have to have it.
How do you think social media fits into or complements marketing automation?
Great question. I think social media fits in at multiple levels. I think, when I see a social media standalone thing, I keep thinking, no, it's got to be more than that. So I think there is an offensive and a defensive side to social media. On the defensive side, you want to be watching who's saying negative things about your company, and you need to respond. I mean, let's face it, every company has that. You could have one disgruntled customer saying something, and if you don't respond, it just means you're not listening. Or you could have a lot of customers complaining, and if you're not listening, shame on you. We're seeing marketing social media starting to be more and more of a part of the mix that marketers use to drive traffic and create awareness. I publish a piece of content. I want to make sure that everybody knows about it. Yes, I might do an emailing, put something on my website, but I want to reach out to my social media audience and let them know. So when I look at this, I think that maybe 8 to 10% of your efforts are probably going towards social media. But it's something you have to have. You need to be there. You need to be aware. You need to show you're clued in, and there's a piece of your customer base that wants to interact that way.
Well, with that comment, I think we're at a good break point for our conversation.
We are.
This is Chuck Schaefer. I've been joined by Raghu Raghavan, CEO of Act-On Software. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Chuck.